Hey guys, welcome to my cactus live stream. Um, Cactus care, sowing out, seed cleaning, everything that I come across during my normal day. And today I just want to start off by saying I'm sick. I have one of the worst flus that I've had in a while. So I might at some point not be able to continue. I brought me this in case I have to sneeze, and it's very likely that it will happen. I had this morning at least 10 sneezing fits where it wouldn't stop anymore. Yeah, and at this point, I just try to not think about my nose. That is the one thing that I really, really try. So I might at some point I might have to say, okay, this is getting not good. I need to go. But I wanted to start. I prepared everything. Actually, everything should be ready. Only thing that is in the way right now is my nose. I see it in the video and it's literally glowing. But yeah, I don't know. It happens. Last few weeks, I've often felt like I'm sick, like I'm getting sick. Felt very cold. So yeah, at some point it just catches up. But I'm okay. I will try to do this for as long as possible. Great that you are here. Welcome to my stream. Also to the people who watch it later. Today I'm calculating with maybe half an hour. If I manage to get to an hour, that is great, and everything above would be the cherry on the top. If not, at some point I might start sneezing and I might have to end the stream. But for now, let's just pretend my nose wouldn't be huge and red now. So let's get started, okay? Great that you're here. I am going through the new seedlings, and I want to say that I fertilized some of the seedlings that I took out of the bags, and yeah, first time fertilization, and I only did a very diluted mix that I sprayed, and yeah, they're looking great. You can really see it. You can see when the seedlings have been fertilized because it improves their health. They grow a little bit faster. At the same time, you can also get more problems with weeds, but that's okay. Yeah, again, I'm pretty sick today, so limited stream. I'm doing my best, but I might have to stop at some point when the nose gets too much. Yeah, seedlings, cactus seedlings here. Everything looks good, but there's a little bit of moss here. Welcome everyone who finds the stream just randomly. We're sowing cactus seeds here. These are cactus seedlings that I've sown out. And we're discussing everything there in closed bags, in a little bit of sowing soil or some other organic soil. And then we have them in humidity for now, under a plant lamp. And within the first 6 months, they will probably stay in these bags. Sometimes, if something happens, we might have to take them out sooner. But it's not the goal. I would love to keep them in for as long as possible because you have to water them all the time too. Yeah, and again, I'm sorry if I at some point if I have to sneeze or something like that. I'm really sick today. Have gotten a little cold, and it's starting to really take notice. My nose is starting to show. But apart from that, great that you are here. And I want to go through the containers. These are in washed pumice, and I don't like it. We will transplant these into sowing soil. Sowing soil is just more, is able to retain the water a little longer. I'm sorry, I'm really sick. I apologize. This is the first time something like this happened to me on stream, but I'm just sick. Yeah, I want to take these out of the washed pumice. This is just a too fast draining soil, fast draining medium, And I see that some of them have marks from fungus gnats, and I want to take them out of the bag. And if I take them out of the bag in the pumice, it will just be too fast draining for the cactus seedlings. So yeah, these need to go into sowing soil. I'm not sure if I still have enough for one, but I'll try my best to see later. I want to transplant these. We'll put this to the side, and we will do that later when I found a new pot. But yeah, these need to be transplanted now, simply because I need to take them. I saw that I need to take them out of the bag, and that would lead to a super fast draining soil. I'm already spraying the seedlings a few times a day, and it's hard to stay on top of it when you have to refill and refill and refill, and the water just runs away like it does in the washed pumice. Yeah, here these are seedlings. They look a little bit better. These don't have problems with fungus gnat, so yeah, they can stay in there. It always depends on whether you have to take them out of the bag or not. In this case, they have to go out. In this case, they can stay in a little longer. The others need to go out. And yeah, the pumice is great for larger seedlings, larger plants that are a little older than maybe 6 months. But everything younger will have a very fast draining soil in the pumice, and it can be too much. So these have been fertilized. Fertilized them yesterday, and I sprayed them with a fertilizer for sensitive crops. I'm sorry, with a pH buffer, and that's pretty much. They look great now. Just after one dose of little fertilizer, and it was just a little bit, they look great. There's some others where I'm a little bit more worried because they just lose too much water. These are also okay. These have also been sprayed. But there are 1 or 2 containers that I really don't like, that need to be sprayed more often. In this one, you can see that I don't like the top, like the layer of the top soil, the top layer of the soil. There's a seedling that fell over that needs to be transplanted again now. And yeah, that all comes together here. Top layer looks like it has moss problems, that kind of stuff. I don't like that. And I consider transplanting them, all of them. But for now, I mean, the soil, check it out. It's super dry. It has turned into a brick, literally a brick. And I don't think that they can stay in there long term. Hey, good morning. Great to have you. Sorry for my nose is out of control. I barely made it to the stream. I didn't wanna cancel, but I'm a little sick, so every now and then my nose might take over. But I'm doing my best, trying to be a professional. But yeah, I don't know. I don't like the winter, and Kami and Mika want to go out all the time, so I'm always out in the cold, and today it kind of caught up with me a little bit. But yeah, thank you. I usually don't get that kind of stuff, but today something's different. When something happens that is you feel isn't normal. I've already felt it yesterday, but I'm doing my best. I don't wanna complain. It's just a little kind of flu thing or whatever. But it's difficult to talk and sneeze. You don't want to sneeze on the stream. It's just it probably looks ridiculous. So yeah, these are also looking good. I fertilized those also. Hey, welcome to the stream. Great to have you. Thank you for joining us. Yeah, I'm really worried. At some point, I might have to go offline. But for now, I will just pull through. I don't want to complain all the time. So let me see. Check these out. Really healthy looking seedlings, but the space is running out with these. These need to be singled out very soon already, or at least split up between 2 containers. I don't know why I've shown so many. It probably didn't look like it was so many. But this is a great example. It's like when you're cooking noodles, you know, you put in a few noodles and you think, yeah, that would be maybe a half plate, and you end up cooking like a ton of them. And it's with cactus seeds, it can be similar. So these, sometime soon we will transplant them, switch maybe one half into another container and move these a little bit to the center. But when they are so crowded, it is hard to take them apart without really putting in the work and singling some out, because the moment you take them apart, some of them will lose contact with the soil. I should have planted 10 maybe, you know, not 10,000. Just from the look, I believe it's maybe 150 seedlings. I'm not sure. 100 to 150 maybe, depending on how many are below. And that's, you know, I'm not saying you shouldn't do it. I'm saying it's a lot of work. So yeah. But the fertilizing really affected the seedlings positively. When you have little seedlings, when they come up out of the seed, they have a few weeks where they have energy, just from, like, you know, they get a little bit of energy with them in the beginning, and after a certain time they take what's in the soil, and then after a certain time the nutrients are just gone, you know, used up. So it's good that I gave them a little bit now. You can really see these I had out too. They are visibly growing. Got to be careful with the humidity, because some of them really are too small to be taken out. These here, I'm very worried about these. There are some variegated seedlings or half variegated seedlings that don't do well, that don't develop well. I really consider putting them back into a bag, but for now, I want to leave them out. I would spray these thrice a day, and I hope that will be enough. I'm not sure, but I think we will lose 1 or 2 seedlings from the ones that I've just shown you, simply because I saw the day when I took them out of the bag, they instantly suffered. And that is usually a sign that the seedling doesn't have a lot of reserves anyway. And it could mean that they are full variegated seedlings. And in that case, I don't think I want to have them around anyway. You would have to graft them. So we'll see. I want to spray them more often now, but we're talking 3-4 times a day. And they are already in a very organic medium, organic soil. You can imagine how it would be if you had the seedlings in pumice. You know, the water, you can really see the water run through like that. Pumice can store water, but it's not enough for these tiny seedling roots. So if you transplant into washed pumice, make sure that the seedlings are big enough, strong enough, that kind of stuff. They will need some time to adapt, and a lot of these seedlings don't have that. They don't have a lot of time. They are tiny. It's like, you know, you look at them wrong and they're not making it. So these are looking okay. You can see there's growth. 1 or 2 have like a time advantage. They are further along, but apart from that, this looks okay. Soil is rather dry, but with the fungus gnat problem, that was the best thing to do. Keeping the humidity a little bit lower on the soil, but it needs to have some visible humidity on the top layer. If you can't see humidity on the soil, then it is probably not enough. Even if you have condensation on the bag, on the sides of the bag, the roots need the humidity too, okay? So yeah, and again, I apologize if my nose causes problems, if I make weird sounds here and there. just ignore it. Okay. So yeah, in this one, I don't like some of the stuff that I see here, and it's, for one, it's too deep in the pot. You see here, this is where it becomes a problem when you have them a little bit deeper. Then you have seedlings where the soil pushes up. The soil is a little bit loose here in this container. Sometimes you have that soil has dried up in a way that makes it more puffy when you water it again, and then you have these large blocks, chunks of soil that are sometimes even surrounding the seedlings. Here, check this out here. And that's not good. So, and I already compacted that last time, and I'm doing it again now, just trying to get the soil pushed down a little bit, because it also takes away light from the seedling, and also they don't have a good solid connection to the soil then sometimes. And yeah, there's moss in this thing, but it's currently not taking anything over. It doesn't seem to be a huge problem now. But yeah, this is a lot better now. Just trying to push the soil a little bit, trying to create an even layer of topsoil. That's just safer for the seedling, because once you have these ups and downs, the seedlings can sometimes be trapped in a weird humidity pocket somewhere, and you can have a totally different soil composition there than in the other parts of the container. Okay, yeah, and here, once you start pushing the top layer a little bit down, they sink even lower, and at that point they are really getting a lot less light than if that thing was full and you had them on top. So for the next time, I really keep an eye out for not putting in enough soil. The soil needs to be should be full, you know. If it's too full, it can cause other problems, but we will discuss that later. Hey everyone, welcome to the stream, guys. Great to have you. Yeah, these, okay, a little bit deeper, also haven't been fertilized, but they're still growing healthily. For now, I will just close it up again. The moment I see them change color a little bit, or feel like they are starting to look a little bit unhealthy, then I take them out and fertilize them in the bag. For now, it's just they're looking great. You could start fertilizing now, but the moment you do it in a closed bag, you also fertilize all the weeds that are around it. And heavily fertilized soil is the type of soil that gets a lot of problems with moss. And so try to not put in so many nutrients that you are basically feeding the weeds, you know, because that can happen a lot. At some point, fertilizing becomes too much, and you need to. In the beginning, I rather take it a little slower, you know. Hey, welcome to the stream. Great to have you. I'm a little bit handicapped today, but I'm hanging in. So far, I've had no weird sneeze attacks or something like that. I'm on a good way. It's going great. So yeah, these are looking great. Great looking seedlings. Apart from that, too many, too much up and down. I think this is one of the situations where we had a ball of seedlings in center, and I pulled them apart to distribute them a little bit more. Because when you have a whole ball of seedlings that have germinated together in center, they kind of lose contact to the ground, because they grow wide, and by growing wider and wider, something pushes them up with the roots, and that is bad. So if you notice that you have like a little bump with seedlings in the middle, at some point it can make sense to get involved, move them a little. But if they don't suffer, if you don't see them doing poorly, I wouldn't change anything, you know. Sometimes you have a healthy ball of seedlings in the middle, and you transplant them, and then they are not doing well afterwards. That can also happen. So yeah, you will have to just look at how the seedlings look, how healthy the seedlings look, and decide then how to proceed. If in doubt, I'd rather transplant them one times too often than not enough. So yeah, these are very small, rather smallish looking seedlings, but okay. Hilde Winterer Aurei Spina hybrid. Look like, you know, if you see them, if you take a closer look, they look slightly different than, let's say, columnar seedlings. Apart from that, they haven't shown their Hilde Winterer genetics yet. That will probably come down a little bit further, you know, where they will grow long and slender. Hilde Winterer is like a hanging basket kind of plant, really thin Cactus kind of plant. That's the genus where they put it, and yeah, we'll see. Maybe we have seedlings that grow a little bit more columnar, which is something that I would prefer, that I would love to have. Okay, so these look great. Check it out. The seedlings have a very unique reddish discoloration at one part in center. I've noticed that trait, and yeah, it's a little bit less now, but maybe it is a consistent trait and not something like that is just a reaction to the lamp. You know, sometimes they react to the color of the lamp. For example, if you are using a pinkish kind of lamp, these red light lamps that they used to have, the seedlings can take in that kind of light and change color. And very often when seedlings turn red, it is a sign of stress, a reaction to sunlight, a reaction to cold temperatures and that. But there are some plants where it could be a stable trait, genetic trait that they just have, you know. And with these, I have that hope. We will see how they will develop. But for now, they look great. Ziploc starting to fail here also. It's a common theme with these Ziploc bags or with these zip bags. I'm not sure which manufacturer built them. I don't know. But they often break after opening them a few times. So in this one, this is washed pumice. Check it out how dry it is. You know, this is bone dry, and it's in a closed bag. That shows you why washed pumice can be too fast draining, even in a bag. Normally, you would say that the humidity doesn't go out; it's still there, but it also has to be available to the seedling. It's not enough that you have water there that is collecting on the walls of the bag here, for example. You know, it needs to get to the seedling, and with the washed pumice, that stuff dries out so fast that the seedlings usually don't have enough time to take it in, or have rather limited time to take it in. So these here, Uwe Kahle seedlings, whole container full of seedlings, looking good. I mean, it's too many in one pot. I would criticize that if I would see it elsewhere. Hey, welcome to the stream. Great to have you. I'm a little bit sick, so I apologize if I am not really, if I can't make a normal stream today. I'm doing my best, but there are moments when the nose just comes through. Okay. Yeah. At some point, these will have to be singled out, but that's okay. For now, they are not in danger of running out of space. Cactus seedling has a tiny root, and in the beginning, they like growing a little bit more crowdedly. Thank you. I don't know what it is. I suppose I just spent too much time in the garden, and not only with the plants, but with Mika and Kami. They just want to go out all the time. Like Kami, the cat that we have, she's getting 17 next year, and yeah, she's just enjoying her life. And I try to go out with her, try to take her on walks and that kind of stuff in the garden. She's so old, she wouldn't make it to be out alone, so I try to go with her all the time. And yeah, she appreciates it, but I'm standing there in the cold all the time, you know. But I love her, you know. It's the things we do for love. I want her to have a nice you know, life evening where I feel like maybe it affects her life expectancy when I take her out every now and then, when she's happy, when she's moving, that kind of stuff, you know. I don't want to look back to this time and feel like I haven't done everything I could. But yeah, every now and then, when my nose looks like it's glowing, you know, I look into the display, and it's like my nose is a lighthouse. So yeah, that's the price that I'm paying sometimes. Like, yeah, in this one, everything all right. Also, maybe a little bit deep in the pot, like the soil could have been a little higher. I really try to do that right in the future when I'm filling up the pot. It's just you're trying to do it fast. You're trying to conserve the medium because it's expensive, and then you constantly end up with pots where you could have added 1/3 more of soil, and that can really make a difference sometimes in regard to the light. They just get more light when you have them a little bit higher up. Okay. Next one. Yeah, also in the washed pumice, and here's fungus gnats. Welcome to the fungus gnat channel, ladies and gentlemen. These need to be transplanted, need to be repotted out of this. The fungus gnats could even manage to survive in pumice. So yeah, these need to be taken out. Here's the plan how I want to solve this. These will be transplanted into sowing soil, and we let it out. We leave it out of humidity in order to let the soil dry out completely. One thing that fungus gnats cannot take is when the soil dries out. They just need a little bit humidity in the soil to propagate, to lay their little eggs and larvae that eventually starts eating the seedlings. And you can stop that mechanism by just taking away the humidity. The cactus seedlings can take a little bit more dryness, but it's a fine line, and we are really, with these, it will be a very fine line. I'm not sure if you've seen, when I opened this thing up, there were 10 fungus gnats coming out of this thing, and we need to leave them out now. And I want to transplant these into sowing soil today, because if we would close it again, we would just lose more seedlings. If I take it out and leave it like this, you've seen how dry the pumice was earlier, so it would probably not be enough. You would have to spray them 5, 6, 7 times a day. That is how fast draining it is. For a larger seedling, maybe after 6 months, 6 to 12 months, they can take that even. Cactus seedlings, at a certain point, they become a lot more resistant to drying out, and also vulnerable to too much water. It's in the first 6 months, maybe first 3 to 6 months, they they really need water and humidity. But later on, the older they get, the less they need. Yeah. These are looking good. Okay, little deep, but that is okay. That is, you see that if you can look at it from the side, you still see the seedling. That is how it's supposed to be. Winteriana, Lobivia seedlings, Lobivia winteriana. For now, you can't really tell if the body of the seedlings will be that of the mother or that of the father. For now, I just see that this is an intergeneric hybrid cross between something Lobivia and something that grows columnar. And yeah, this has potential. But for now, seedlings are still too young to really say if something follows the Lobivia or not. Probably, most likely the Lobivia, but we'll have to see. Okay. These are the ones that I wanted to show you earlier. These have been fertilized. And I really liked how they have grown within the first day. Just one day after being fertilized, I feel like I can really see some growth. In one of the next episodes, I want to do a time lapse. I want to do a time lapse with the seedlings. Seedlings will be fertilized, and then I will put the time lapse on to see how they would grow within the first day. Because if you sometimes when a seedling is really dehydrated and hasn't gotten enough nutrients, once you start fertilizing, they grow big very fast. And I believe that could look great on a time lapse. So I want to try that out. I apologize. My nose is needing attention again. I'm sick. I apologize. It's not getting better. So yeah. And these here, the seedling that rolled over. Let's have a look at it if it has a root. It does have a root. I don't like when you have a seedling that loses balance because it very often is a sign that fungus gnats have taken a bite out of it. But these need to be watered more often, a lot more often. And I want to spray these later again. For now, I just want to water them with the can. But I'm very worried about these seedlings in particular. And of course, we could always take them back into the bag, put them back in. But that would lead to more fungus gnat problems again because they have been out. Once you have something out, the fungus gnats can get to it. Will you have a control group for not fertilized? I didn't plan it like that, but we could do it. We could do it. I still have like all the ones that are still in the bag haven't been fertilized. So I will put a few aside just to show how much faster the fertilized ones will grow. And it will be obvious. I mean, you can really see when you fertilize them with a good fertilizer within the first day, the plants just look great. So yeah, I'll put maybe 3 or 4 aside so we can compare. Will be interesting. And apart from that, the next time I'm fertilizing seedlings where I feel like they look a little bit dehydrated, I will put a time lapse on it to show how much they grow. I was worried about the electricity cost for all the time lapse stuff that we have been doing, like in the last season. In summer, I did countless time lapse videos, but I was never really able to calculate the electricity cost, and I was worried about that. But recently, I looked into it, and the costs are not so high, like negligible. So I want to do more time lapse videos with the cacti themselves also. Yeah, okay. So what else? I brought a bunch of cactus fruit to clean. Let's do that for a little. and I will try to make it to 1 hour. That would be like probably the maximum that I can get my nose to stay silent. Right now, I'm really, that nose is really getting bad. But yeah, I'm not a quitter, so I'm here. You know, I apologize if my nose makes weird noises that it would usually not make. It's just sometimes, I don't know. Maybe I'm getting old. So okay, I wanna clean a little. This was the fruit from recently. This is a dried flower, flower of Teleflora, and this was the fruit. There was a little fruit on it. We cleaned that last time, and there were quite a few seeds in it that we can sow out very soon. For now, I'll just put that stuff here away because these are already cleaned. This is just the remnants. I usually go through that again to see if I maybe overlooked a bunch of seeds here and there. But for now, I want to do another one. Okay. This, like the last season, I guess I had 7 or 8 fruits on Teleflora. I never had that many on Teleflora. It was really unusual, large number of fruits. Okay, so this one is a Flying Dragon hybrid. Flying Dragon crossed with Cantora 1433. Flying Dragon, the parentage is unknown, but probably I will always say it like this. If you ask me, I believe it is clearly a Cerenzia Kamagensis hybrid. But yeah, I'm open for other input. I've been having discussions about Flying Dragon for a while. That is a plant that just showed up on a marketplace like eBay. I think it was eBay, and that plant was the parents were unknown at the time. But there aren't that many hybrids. There aren't that many cacti that have this kind of a thin body, so many spines. You need to look at the large number of spines that Flying Dragon has, and yeah, that's just not Cantora. You can see that it is not Cantora, and when Cantora falls out, there are not that many candidates left. It's not Candicans. You can tell that because it's too thin for Candicans. It grows too fast for Candicans. It flowers too early for Candicans. The flower shape is different. I have posted photos and videos of the flowers of Cerenzia Kamagensis, and it has a very unique shape. It opens up, the sepals spread out really interestingly. Something that I have seen on some Flying Dragon hybrids, and Flying Dragon itself has a very similar way to open the flower. So yeah, and welcome everyone who found the stream. I appreciate that. Thank you for being here. Hey mate. Oh, I'm on a great way. Thank you. The channel is growing. I'm very happy with everything. We need to be a little bit more. At some point, something happens and everything takes off. I'm not that worried about how many subscribers I have. I would sit here and do that stream for one person. It doesn't matter, because I do that for the people who brought me here. I have a very loyal base of supporters, and yeah, I just believe that quality at some point will prevail. At some point, quality just matters, and yeah, I would just. I know that once we're going to live stream from outside, from the flowering plants next season, this season actually, the new season starts on March 15th. And once the flowers are coming in, this thing will take off no matter what. But I appreciate it. Thank you for noticing. if you ask me, yes, I think in general that kind of stuff that I'm doing here, that a lot of friends of mine also are doing, like the channels on Instagram, on Facebook, the people that on YouTube, it should be given a wider reach on social media. I really believe that. I believe if that kind of content would have been shown to a wider audience instead of that kind of content that gets people to just get mad, because it engagement bait and that kind of stuff. If they would show more like the stuff that we do, society would be better for it. And I truly, truly believe that. And the fact that, like, in the beginning, it took so long just on Instagram to have my posts being seen, just having, like, I had, I don't know, 50,000 subscribers on Instagram, and nobody was seeing my posts, and but if I posted a meme, that meme had millions of reach, and that tells you also a little bit about society. But again, if you start to worry about stuff like that, then you will change, then you will just, then you will try to please the mass market. You will try to like when they always tell you how you should do a video, you should start by telling something within the first seconds, like within the first 5 seconds and that kind of stuff. I don't believe in that. I believe that at some point, some video that I did maybe years ago will just take off, and then it's okay. And if not, honestly, I've also thought about that. If that channel never really fully takes off, I still get so much love and support from people, right now already. There are always situations when I get a little, like a couple of weeks ago, I had an appointment, like, to discuss. I have a business too, I'm like running it like a business, and I had an appointment, and they kind of reminded me that I also need to make like profit, I need to be profitable. And I totally agree. That is out the question, but sometimes you cannot quantify success it just by looking if you're in that at that moment are profitable. Because I have never grown so much than I did this year, like on the channel, like people actually finding the stuff that I do, people knowing me, just, I don't know, by having seen something years ago, or by showing up in their feed. I've never had a feeling like it is now, that we're really at the right spot at the right time. So of course I want I want this thing to work out. So I would put my whole energy into it. The whole year we will stream from outside, from indoors, whatever. We will do it all. And it's at some point we will hit that 10K subscribers, whatever, At that point, it will come naturally. Hey, Andrea, great to have you here. Welcome to the stream. How's your phone? I hope your phone is all right again. Yeah, I'm a little sick. I have a little kind of flu thing. I don't know. Maybe I have COVID again. I don't know. At some point, it's always the same. I'm not sure. Like recently, a couple of weeks ago, I already had that feeling where I thought I had gotten COVID again. But I never really tested. I just stayed at home. It's like when they are saying social distancing. That is what I do. What I usually do. That's my normal life. So it didn't matter. Oh, I'm sorry to hear, Andrea. I hope you can get your phone fixed soon. But yeah, I've been working with a cracked screen for a while too. Like in the beginning, like when I had the problems, when I was so ill with the Lyme disease from the tick bite that I had, I constantly dropped the phone, and then I would always end up with a damaged phone. I ended up putting, like, this kind of cover that you put on it, and I have a cover on the other side. My smartphone is like, you would do it for a toddler, because like when you have a toddler and they have these huge things that are padded and that nothing happens. That's how I had to pad my phone, because I kept letting it fall down. Oh, that sounds bad. I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah, it's crazy. I recently, like, my smartphone contract ran out, and I canceled it because I needed a new phone. You know, always when my smartphone contract is running out, I cancel it, just because it allows you, they give you better deals then. And now I have a new phone, and so far I haven't really used it much yet. And it's just because because it is so common for me to drop phones, and they are so expensive now. I don't know how people do it, like buying a new phone every time the new model comes out. I couldn't even afford that. I get me a phone every time I notice that the video quality drops. For me, that's a sign usually. There's a helicopter flying over the house just now. Oh, my nose is really bad. Hey, Robert, good morning. Welcome to the stream. Great to have you. I'm sick. I'm really sick, and I'm worried that I keep sneezing into the video, like into the stream. It's really bad. But so far I have it under control. I think they have landed a helicopter here. Usually that's when something like for medical assistance, that happens on a regular basis here. Hey, welcome to the stream. Great to have you, mate. So yeah, apart from that, the seedlings look good. I checked the chili. I wanted to show some of the chilies, but they are so sensitive right now. They're so tiny that I didn't dare to bring them yet. Maybe in one of the next episodes, I will bring the chili again. They are very tiny right now. Maybe I can get them like to a decent size where I can safely take them out to show them again. Oh, I'm sorry to hear. Yeah, you wrote that, with COVID and that. Yeah. I'm not sure. In the past, my wife used to work in the when I was still with my wife, she worked in the medical system, and that's how I got ill all the time. I got it very often, and it was really bad a few times. And the more often you get it, the more often it is likely that you have some sort of a long-term problem with it. And but people have kind of stopped to discuss it. I don't know. I've talked with my mother. My mother was very ill in the very beginning when it happened with COVID, like the first year, and it was so bad that I was really worried. And now I think the cases might have gotten a little milder, just compared. But I didn't really. I have no more tests at home. I used to have tests at home all the time, but it has gotten harder for me to get some. Sometime soon I will get me another pack. If this is getting worse today, I might actually go to the pharmacy to get me something, and then I will do a test also for COVID. Yeah, it's crazy how much this thing has changed the world. So much stuff going on. I don't think if that wouldn't have happened, if we would be where we are now. I think it played a huge role in the world just going crazy a little bit. So So yeah, over here, check it out. I'm cleaning these cactus seeds of Flying Dragon Cantora. Hybrid seeds from a Flying Dragon Cantora cross. And they usually have a somewhat lower seed count. Not terrible, like, you know, not like it is with Super Apricot maybe, but not a lot. Yeah, hope you guys are all right, everyone who's watching us. Great to have you around. If always happy if you wanna know something, I'm always happy. If not, we're just, you know, talking on, doing stuff. And yeah, apart from that, the work in the garden has started yesterday. Yesterday I had to start cutting back. I'm trying to find the hole in the garden lake, like in the garden pond that I have. So I might do a video from the garden this week. It's just I'm constantly, Kami and Mika are constantly needing something. I don't know. It's just when you do everything by yourself, you run out of time very fast. Ugh. Oh, I'm sorry. What's happening with your seedlings? How is that happening that they are disappearing? What problem do you have with them? If I can help, I'm happy to help. If there's something like where I can assist, just let me know. In the beginning, it's important to have no fungus net, larvae, and stuff like that in the soil. If that is all right, you just need viable seeds. Sometimes, you know, you don't get a lot of seedlings because the seeds might have been a little older. That could happen. And if you lose them, it's usually not enough water or too much. And that will depend on what kind of a soil you have. I really recommend using sowing soil, something really simple. Because I've earlier shown the pumice and how dry the pumice was, even in the bag. So make sure to get a good sowing soil. Sow out in that. Maybe a little plant lamp. Doesn't have to be strong. Plant lamp or like a window. A little light is important. If I wouldn't have them under a lamp, they wouldn't look so nice right now. A lamp just makes a big difference. Oh yeah. I'm fighting against the nose. Oh yeah, you said that. Could it be that it is too hot from the heat mat? Because in the beginning, when you're sowing out, the heat mat is great, but later on it can get too much, you know. I would really recommend like inducing the germination with a heat mat and later keeping them at room temperature, because the hotter it gets, the more likely you can have infections or you can lose seedlings in a bag, because the heat is it's basically overheating the seedling. That can happen, but it's just a suspicion right now, you know. Always need to look at the environment, what you got there, to know why the seedlings aren't making it. Uh-huh. So it's getting better here, cleaning this a little. Oh my god, my nose. I have feeling in my nose that is like I really need to focus, you know, like meditate to just get the nose to stop trying to sneeze. We'll see how if that gets worse. I'm not sure if I will do the same tomorrow. I will try to be here tomorrow again also. If not, I apologize. This is new. I haven't had it's been a while since I had something like that. I'm getting old. Might really be it. So I'm constantly cleaning here, just trying to remove everything that isn't viable seeds. Feeling everything, you can really feel the difference between a viable seed and an unviable one. Not always, but very often. It depends on whether the seeds are unviable because of old age. You know, sometimes they develop, but they constantly lose viability over time. But some never had viability. They just developed some sort of like an excuse for a seed, but it's not viable. Yeah, thank you. I'm okay. I just don't want to have it totally, you know, when I'm sneezing all the time. Okay, so these are soon clean enough to sow them out. Check that out. Really nice how you can clean seeds without even having to wash them. It can work like that, but I recommend to clean them under the water. It's better, it's safer. But if you are overwhelmed, this can also work, like with lobevia, with smaller seeds, with smaller fruits. That can work. Oh. So now the snow is gone completely. Where I live, everything was covered in snow maybe 10 days ago, and now it's all gone completely. And I already miss it. I wanted to record a video like outside in the snow, wanted to do a little bit more with the snow. I don't know. You always when it's snowing, you feel like it will stay forever. And then when it's suddenly gone, you know, we might not get another snow like that this year. Yeah, thank you. Oh, yeah. Okay, so I can back them up now, and we will be sowing them out later. Flying Dragon, Cantora 1433. Flying Dragon, probably Syrensia Carmagensis, but unclear. I'm sorry. I'm really sick. I'm not sure if I make it today. I'm not sure if I can do it 1.5 hours. Probably not. We'll see. But I would try. So Flying Dragon Cantora. And they are really nice, really good. Depending on what you cross them with, they can be very useful. Big flower size. Growing fast. Flying Dragon, you don't even have to graft it because it grows faster than most of the grafting stocks that are around, you know? Yeah, thank you. It's really going around. And good night, mate, you know? Trying to be back to normal tomorrow, but I don't expect it. So don't be surprised in case, like, I miss the stream. It's nothing bad. It's just that I can't stop sneezing. I don't want to sneeze on stream. I find it. I don't want to. It isn't supposed to go out of control. A little bit of sneezing here and there is funny, but there gets a point when it's, when you're in the theater, like when you're sitting there, want to watch a movie, and someone keeps sneezing. That's how it is. Okay. So what's this? This is a hybrid between Gnome and Cerenzia tunariensis. And in this particular case, I gotta say, the Cerenzia tunariensis that this cross here has is probably something else. I have compared Cerenzia tunariensis. I've grown it, and it's a plant that is similar to it's like a columnar Cerenzia chicken-dancy, maybe something like that. It is not, in this case, I suspect it was probably a form of Telegona, Cerenzia telegona. So the hybrid here, Gnome crossed with tunariensis, but it's basically, it's probably not tunariensis. So, and the fruit was tiny, really tiny fruit. But it had a few of them, a few of those tiny fruits. If we're getting 20 seeds out of that fruit, we are lucky. And that's how it is sometimes. Yeah, a few more. Maybe we are lucky and have a few more. But this is a really small fruit. I'm not sure what Gnome is. I've discussed that hybrid a few times. Gnome, German, also for gnome, but without the E at the end. German gnome. It's a small hybrid. It could be something like Cerenzia purpureo pilosa hybrid. I think I might have read something like that, but I'm not sure. I don't really want to talk on that because I need to look it up. It is one of the plants that I keep forgetting. Andrea, whether it depends on if the soil is the problem, For one, I would definitely take them out of the heat. In the beginning, when you induce the germination, heat is not a huge problem, but later on, once you have a seedling, 30 degrees Celsius constantly can be too much. And a lot of the heat mats try to get there at 30, I believe. I apologize. So, yeah, I would do that. Take them out of the heat mat, and then you need to look at the soil and how it behaves. If it dries out, then I wouldn't change the soil. If it's a problem that you have in the soil, like fungus gnats, something that requires you to change, then yes. But if you are unsure, it's probably something else. Just from hearing it, it instantly sounded like heat, too much heat to me, because that is such a common problem. Yeah. Let the soil dry out. If you take them out, if you can keep them in humidity, but without the heat, that would probably be best. It is possible that if you have a container and the heat keeps taking out seedlings one after the other, at some point you can have so many contaminants in that soil that it can make sense to transplant. So keep that in mind. If you had a container where you constantly had problems with it, then yeah, carefully transplant them in a good fresh sowing soil, nothing too fast draining, close them up again, and just leave them at maybe 25, 26 degrees Celsius, something like that. The higher it gets, the riskier it gets. And if you have a constant temperature of 30 degree, I don't think it works. I think at some point you will lose one seedling, and with that heat, it will go like the fungal infection will have a perfect climate in there. It will so yeah, try with changing the temperature, and then you go from there. Try that out first. If that doesn't solve the problem, or if you want to transplant, if you do it right, it's not a problem. You just have to be careful not to break the roots. The roots are very sensitive, but if you can do it without breaking them, no problem. But yeah, you know, it's always a little stress. Whatever, everything that you transplant will be slightly stressed. Doesn't have to be a huge kind of thing. But yeah. I think I need to sneeze. I apologize. I think I need to sneeze, and it might be loud. I apologize. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. I'm just glad that I don't have to go to an office, you know? Like when you're working in an office and someone comes in that has something like this. I'm just glad that I don't have to do something like that now. It's already bad on the stream. I don't need that in real life. Yeah, you usually, every problem that you have, common sense helps a lot. Common sense, having known what can happen. The most common problems are usually heat or not enough water. That's the big things, you know. Later you have other problems like pH level, or not enough nutrients, too much nutrients, too much light. But in the beginning, the most likely problems that you have are usually too much heat or drought, real drought, because some people have a hard time finding the sweet spot for cactus seedlings, because sometimes overwatering and underwatering can look the same. So you have to know, you have to see it in front of your eyes, have to look at the seedlings and how they develop once you take them out of the bag. If you see them getting smaller and smaller, once you take them out of the bag, it becomes obvious that they need more water, you know. They lose substance very fast when you take them out. Okay. Overall, maybe we have 30 seeds or so here. Could be. Let's put it on a piece of paper. Forget a few seeds here and there. Oh my God. It starts again. Oh. Yeah. So I will finish these, and then I will probably lie somewhere and sneeze repeatedly, like offline. But yeah, this morning I was in the situation. I decided, do I want to do the stream or not? You know, and I didn't want to say, you know, I didn't want to say no. Didn't want to be like too sensitive. So yeah, I apologize if this today is a little bit unusual. I rarely get sick, but like sicker than usually, you know. I have a lot of problems, but I rarely get the flu. Let's say it like this. Okay. Overall, I guess maybe 30, 40 seeds. Looked a little bit less in the beginning, but we're on a good path here. And the plant, I have shown it on the channel in summer. And when that flower opened, I originally hated it. And I might have said that in the beginning, you know, like when it opened up, I really didn't like it at first. But then later during the day, the flower opened up a lot wider and the flower looked much better then. So this was a good flower. Wasn't bad. It was good enough that I harvested the seeds. I thought about, do I even want the seeds? But it's actually a good plant. It has an unusual flower, little bit freaky kind of flower. And yeah. So it could be worth it to grow them. Might make sense. It's hard because you can really see so many different types of hybrids that work out. You can never really 100% predict what will be that amazing hybrid that you didn't see coming, you know. So it can make sense to just grow what you have, no matter what the parents are that are on the label. I did it like that for a very long time because I knew that very often the hybrids that I was totally amazed by, that I really was you know looking forward to, they disappointed me, and some that I didn't really, where I felt like they are completely mediocre, they turned out amazing, you know, amazingly. So what I did was I just treated every cross that I made the same. Didn't really distinguish between what kind of a hybrid it is. I just tried to get them all to flower. And if something doesn't work, then at least you gave it your all. But space is limited, and in the last years, I try to do more targeted work. You know, I no longer have so much space, so I'm sowing out less kind of seeds, and I try to, you know, get a diverse range. So in the future, we might have to pick certain horses that we want to, you know, want to focus on for the future, and yeah, but sometimes it pays off to sow out stuff that where you feel like it won't go anywhere, but it's just unpredictable. Sometimes you cannot tell what the outcome will be. You can have two mediocre plants and both work so uniquely with each other that the offspring will be great. That's something that you just, sometimes you got to risk it. Sometimes you got to sow out that one cross that when you read it, it sounds totally boring. You never know. I can always repeat that information, that some of the best hybrids that I ever created were very simple. Were hybrids between two plants, both botanicals, you know, stuff like that. You don't need to have a huge family tree with 10 different parents in the mix. Sometimes the easiest way is great, amazing. Okay, So I'm getting there with the seeds here. I want to finish these, and then then I will probably take a nap, something like that. I just want to get through this fast. Doing a bunch of old recipes against the flu. Maybe that works. We'll see. And if I miss tomorrow's stream, then I will post about it. But at this point, I don't plan to if I didn't quit today, I don't plan on quitting tomorrow. And if it's only to say, hey guys, here I am, I'm sick, I would stay 20 minutes and then I go. Okay. Maybe we're sowing them out. We'll see. It's just we have too many. At some point, we have to start focusing on some of the really interesting stuff that might be a totally new kind of hybrid. But I have seen good offspring come from this kind of hybrid. The flower looks a little bit like Papageno. There's a hybrid called Papageno, and it's generally referred to as an Echinopsis hybrid. It's basically also involving Sorensia telegona, or a form of Sorensia telegona. It involves a hybrid or a natural hybrid called Papagei, and that has telegona in it. And that's why it's a similar hybrid in regards to the flower to Papageno. Might make sense to sow it out. I like Papageno and Papagena. Papagena is the yellow version of Papageno. Two different hybrids. One by Hartmut Kellner, I think. Papageno by Hartmut Kellner. And Papagena, the yellow one, by Axel Neumann. Both two great breeders. And both of them have very beautiful flowers with a weird mutated petal shape. And these here could have the same. That Tunariensis, that Sorensia tunariensis that is involved in this cross, I am 100% certain it is Telegona too. It's just too slender. The flowers are too big, too differently shaped. Tunariensis has more similar flowers to Schickendanzi. And this has, you can really see the Telegona kind of traits on the mother plant where the seeds are from. Okay, so I'm almost done here. Let me see. I think I still have a little bit of energy left on the phone, so we will do maybe 5 more minutes, and then I'm going offline. I already want to say thank you for participating in this unusual stream. I don't know what it is, but this week is the week of the unusual streams. Hey, welcome to the stream. Great to have you here. I'm just on my last leg, but I appreciate that you said hello. So tomorrow I will try to be here. If not, it's okay. I will probably make it, but I'm a little sick. It's okay. You know how they say that sometimes men, they get a little bit, like when they get the flu, it's a little bit, they react unique to it. And that's how I feel right now. But I'm doing my best tomorrow to be here again tomorrow. I appreciate it. I appreciate that so many of you take time out of your day to be here. So I try to not cancel when I can. So yeah, and I appreciated everyone who was here with me, sneezing all the time. Thank you very much. I appreciated that. So yeah, I go offline. I need to do something with my nose. I don't know what. I would just put me something into both nose holes to get it to just calm down a little. Okay. So thank you guys, everyone. I love this. it wasn't really looking like that, but I appreciated it and I had fun. So yeah, I will probably be back tomorrow. If not, I apologize. I will make up for it. Okay. Thank you guys. I'll be back. Have a nice day. Let me see. Thank you, Robert. I really thank you. I mean, this week, I try to limit to have a strictly based plant stream, cactus stream, but I'm just not that type of person. Okay. What I wanted to say, because of that one stream I did this week, sometimes you have to be consistent in who you are. I saw that, like I was watching not the Grammy, the Golden Globes. I was watching the Golden Globe Award, and I just noticed, they were all in their mode, in their way to, their business talk. Like when they go to an awards show, they all have their written lot of stuff that they want to say. It's also planned. It's not authentic. It's not real people. And in between, when I watched that Golden Globe, there was Mark Ruffalo saying what he finds important, and I kind of appreciated that, and it reminded me that it there are times in life when you just have to say what you believe in. You have to trust your gut, and it brought me here. It brought me to that point, having an audience, having people that watch my stuff, that appreciate that I get up on, that appreciate when I am here, that I'm still here. So I want to repay that by really saying what I think, because a lot of the people respect me because of that. Not despite. I see a lot of people arguing, people like friendships falling apart and all that, and I just hate to be in that position right now. So, and every now and then it slips through into the stream. I try to keep it out, but I can't promise it won't happen again. Okay? So thank you guys. I appreciate it. Thank you, Robert, and everyone. Have a great day today. I'll be back tomorrow with the new nose. I will try to get a replacement for that one. Thank you. Take care.